Hello everybody, it's the Historical Gamer once again, and today we are returning to Burden of Command, a turn-based role-playing war game that takes place in World War II. The main game focuses on a unit, the Cottonbalers, starting off with their training in the States and then moving all the way through to their, landing in North Africa, Sicily, Italy, and then I assume France, although I haven't gotten there yet in my campaign. And it takes a very narrative leadership perspective. So there's a lot of interstitials that would feel more like a visual novel, while there's also sort of this turn-based tactical combat element similar to something like Advanced Squad Leader. Today, they have a DLC which comes out, and so we're going to take a look at that. We did one episode that kind of previewed the DLC. It was the narrative-heavy scenario, but we actually have not campaign. We actually have three other scenarios. So we played the Pegasus Bridge scenario, which had a little bit of tactical battle of taking the bridge, but then it was like primarily a scenario about the civilians and the resistance sort of leading, sort of getting intelligence, gathering, and whatnot. And then there's three other scenarios in this DLC. Benoville, which is sort of defending Pegasus against the counterattack. Steel Rain, which is looking at the German point of view, as you attempt to attack toward Pegasus Bridge, and then Myers Hill, which is a U.S. paratrooper scenario, trying to eliminate enemy artillery pieces, which kind of feels a little bit like something out of Band of Brothers, like the attack on the battery there with where Winters attacked that fixed position the morning of D-Day, but. What we'll do here is we'll take a look at Steel Rain, maybe? I'm trying to think. These are both high ratings. One is playing as the British, one is playing as the Germans. And these are the first scenarios, these three scenarios are the first scenarios never, ever made, because the base game is all from the US point of view, so I'm curious to see how this looks. But we'll see. Maybe we'll get an MG42 or two, so we can see how this plays out. The DLC came out today. I'm recording this the day before, so I don't think it's a very expensive DLC, but I don't have the price in front of me while I'm recording this. And also the Steam Next Fest just kicked off, so there's a lot of demos and sort of previews of games. Battle Plan's been getting some, a public demo. Some other things have come out that I think I'll want to either live stream or do some videos on over the next week while the Next Fest is ongoing, just to kind of highlight a few interesting looking games. Okay.
In der ersten Stunde des 6. Juni, wenige Minuten nach Mitternacht, rollt die gewaltige militärische Aktion an. Alarm für alle! Der Tag hat begonnen. Im Morgengrauen tauchen aus der Kim in der Seenebucht die Massen der angloamerikanischen Invasionsflotte auf. Mit einer Fernkamera hat der Kriegsberichter unmittelbar vor Einsetzen des gegenseitigen Artilleriebeschusses diese Aufnahmen gemacht.
Okay, so the defense of Normandy, June 10th, 1944, so we're 4 days after D-Day. Frankreich, Normandy. The reek of cordite hangs thick as you contemplate the latest order from General Fuchsneger, 127th Panzer Grenadier Regiment, 21st Panzer Division. Attack toward Benoville Bridge. Seize both spans. Your men have another battle ahead, and you must lead them. Nearby, Lieutenant Brown theatrically clears his throat while you study the simplified map of the road and the canals around Ranville. He knows the orders as well as you do, but no doubt he is of a similar mind. Well, Hauptmann, might a poor infantry commander render a comment or two? This is precisely what we tried 3 days ago. Our last attack was broken up by Allied naval guns. We do the same thing and expect a different result. I might wish that this was simply a 3-day delayed message, Lieutenant Brown notes wanly in the silence. After 4 years of war, he's given up on miracles, but perhaps this time the little bitch Monty will let us pass with but a wave. It would be quite something if recent sea conditions had badly disrupted the Allied fleet. Okay. So, yeah, I guess, is this when the storms begin off Normandy? So maybe the hope is the naval gunfire will be broken up. How comforting that shall make us all feel as bullets sing, Brown replies, in tones that suggest otherwise. For your ears alone, my men will march quickly. That's something of a lie, but the truth rarely survives these days. Standard methodology. Plan the attacks so it might prevent defeat. Plan to seize the initiative and hold it. I know this will be a battle. I'm always a fan of zeal or cunning. So zeal, follow me ability, launch highly enhanced assault, take no suppression, and gain the significant advantage. Flanking. Casualties can still occur, especially if the unit acts rashly, for example, moves in the open on suppressed enemies. A unit that suffers a casualty may go berserk in an attempt to assault the nearest enemy. Stronger than follow me, but just as vulnerable. Okay, sure. 21st Panzer will attack westward into the teeth of the British defenses tomorrow. As always, Panzer and machine guns will carve the way. We'll have fire superiority from a distance. Okay. All right. Oh, by the way, they also just released a 2.0 AI update for the game. Supposedly it makes the AI a little less passive in the main American campaign, so. All right, so here is the map we're fighting on. It looks like it's a pretty deep attack. Like, this isn't shallow. We've got a lot of objectives we have to take. There's the Englander, so there's a sort of bombed out church here, or maybe barnyard. There's a chateau, some trenches. But it looks like mostly we've got to push up this main roadway. Kind of splits at points to having two roads. I don't know if there's any troops in these fields. To the south, presumably hedgerows break up the visibility a bit. You can see any troops to the south are not going to have very good visibility toward an assault along the road, so that should prevent flanking being too much of a concern. What's our command consist of? It's a pretty good-sized force here. It looks like we've got a Stug 3, 80mm mortar down here in the south. More mortars up here. We've got some recon cars, MG-42s, 2 infantry platoons there, or I guess squads. More recon cars, and more platoons in the north. Okay. Required objectives are more than one to avoid a major defeat. What are the men objectives? Lose less than 9% for a major victory on that score. All right, MG-42. First things first, I guess. Can I do a recon by fire? Nope, can't actually see what I need to see. All right. I suppose we could drop artillery on them to cover our advance. I'm kind of tempted to just drive a recon vehicle up this way and see what they run into. The Chateau Renville is set with heavy stone walls and windows and excellent firing arcs. Naturally, the British have occupied the place. Certainly, it would be folly if they didn't. Okay. They could fire Piats from inside. British squad in the chateau will be able to interdict the road, spot for artillery, and otherwise make things difficult. Compared to Russia, this will be a walk in the park. Okay. Well, we immediately lost a vehicle. There's only an anti-tank, or it's only a... I didn't actually see what leader was in there, but it was only a recon car, but that's a casualty already. At least we know there's an enemy gun here, though. I suppose that was my intention. Where am I? Which one am I up here? Is this me? Can I call an artillery over here? We've got 80mm mortars on the map. Oh, but I can't see anything that way, huh? Phew. Well, someone can see out that way because they are... They can hit the chateau from here. I guess we can do this. Let's take a look at the line of sight tool. Okay, so this MG can see there. Isn't there an officer here? Oh, it's not his turn? Darn! Alright, so what can this all see? Now that we know there's an anti-tank on here, what can this all see? Basically nothing. It's pretty limited, actually. Until we get much closer. Alright, we can move down the road and get a heck of a lot closer to it then. Who's currently selected right now? All right.
Kopf runter, Sarkasmus runter.
All right, let's do recon by fire. Well, we can't actually see anything yet. This is a side effect of the, lovely situation in Normandy where we have just horrible lines of sight. So we lost the lead vehicle and the crew. It doesn't look like anybody made it out. I don't... Here's a question. Can we break through these hedgerows? I'm assuming not. Is it worth trying to push through and get to the next hex? I mean, they're going to be able to see me. That's... Yeah, I don't particularly want to do anything here. So we'll just end that phase with those troops. They're at least out of the line of sight of the enemy artillery or anti-tank gun. Also, now that we know there's an enemy anti-tank gun here, I can use this turn to use the 80mm mortar here. Airburst says undaunted. I would like to hit him again. Can I hit him again? How much artillery do I get? You would think they would be a little bit like, hey, we don't like getting hit with this fire. We have an MG42. Also, I'll shoot at this trench line to see if we can uncover any enemy troops there. No sign of anything. keeps saying undaunted. It does show smoke there. I'm wondering if there's cover now. What can we all spray? I hope this isn't going to give me like a war crime. Oh, just as I say that. A little war crime. You ran open fire on the chateau, the one with the red cross markings. They have armed men on the grounds. Okay. They'll fight twice as hard, really? British Rage activated? Oh, that's great.
Der Krieg der Metzger.
Well, has pissed off the British. Oh, I'm sorry. Maybe you shouldn't have had armed men on the grounds. I'm just saying. I'm just making my decisions based on the information that I have.
Ihnen zwischen die Zähne.
Oops. If it had been like, oh, there's, a Red Cross, maybe we shouldn't attack there, then I probably wouldn't. But when it's like, hey, we see these bad guys are, obviously from our point of view, these bad guys are here, and they're taking advantage of the situation, well, then yeah. Anyway. I don't really want to move my stug until I know more. All right. Here's to hoping that the MG, that artillery piece, even though we didn't fully suppress them, I'm hoping that they are. Uh-oh. Can I not shoot them? Are we not in range?
Korrigieren Sie sie.
Well, I suppose suppressing them is going to be even harder. I guess. I don't... We'll pull up here and turn off the road. Can I see anything from here? I can't bring up the full recon car element because I won't have the command points to activate the final car in the line. I don't like moving my vehicles quite so far forward without support. Obviously, the goal here is to suppress their heavy weapons so they can't shoot at my infantry when they come up. I assume the Undaunted is just like, hey, it's going to be a pain in the ass for you to do anything because you're not going to be able to suppress the British, is my assumption. All right, let's move our infantry into the fields here. So we'll use the cover of these fields. Move these boys up. Kind of providing flank cover for the recon cars. I'm hoping that these hedgerows provide them some cover. They don't, well... Try and flank them and go to the north of the woods, but... So if we get across the hedgerow into this next sort of section, what happens here? They're all still... That's all still in range of their MGs. In that case, let's shift these boys south through the fields. Okay. Move the stug up. Alright, they can attack these vicars. Cowering, nice. We've suppressed the vicars. And inflicted some casualties on them with the stug. Good job, boys. Still a little worried about that anti-tank gun, but... Alright, let's take a look at the line of sight on this ATG. Still pretty limited line of sight. None of our current vehicles or anyone should be in its range. What can we see from here? This feels like it should be elevated. Not really. We're gonna have to move north of this wood line, I think, then.
Ich vertraue
Okay.
Ihnen mehr als diesem Motor.
Here's a question. Do we try and push through here? Push through? Nah, probably not. We will hold... Probably shouldn't have used the press command, but we will hold them there. Here we got one more group of troops I need to move. Is this 2 infantry squads here? This other platoon of infantry.
Bereit, etwas zu tun?
I'm assuming there's British in this house. I'm hoping that at least the concealment, if not cover, of the crops here keeps us safe. Who spotted me? Alright, so there's some there are troops here. Literally troops right in the hospital. Would they have not shot at me if we had done nothing?
Noch einmal.
We might be out of range of these troops. Yeah, we are.
Weitermachen.
Okay. One more unit, I think. We've got the captain. So actually I can use his... Can I not use his command points to... I can only take command of, like, infantry units? Well, keep shooting the damn bastards if they're in the hospital.
Lassen Sie jede Kugel sprechen.
Surprise! Well, you know what? You're hanging out there. I'm gonna try and take care of you. You got a freaking MG in the hospital.
Ihre Ziele.
Alright, they're suppressed. Captain's gonna move down the line a bit. Leading from the front, good sir. Alright, I think that does it for the first turn. I don't think I have anybody else to move. I guess the armored cars, some of them still have points, or the Stug. So who can still move? Those guys can't. I guess the vehicles can, but I don't really want to move the vehicle. Well, maybe this guy I do. If I can't move him though. All right. I hear vehicles. Are there enemy tanks coming up? Or are they my vehicles? I don't know. All right, 80mm mortars. That's a good question, is who can call these damn things in? Because I advance my leaders. But not everybody has good vantage points to call in the arty. These guns are undaunted. I can't shell them into oblivion. I suppose the answer is just drop smoke on them then, right? I'm assuming there might be more bad guys here, so maybe we'll drop smoke on that trench. We've got the other troops suppressed, but I don't know what's here or here. Heavy weapons will keep suppressing the enemy MGs. They're already suppressed, but we potentially can inflict some casualties on them, which we just did.
Lass sie bluten.
Okay.
Dich durchbohren.
Alright, who all falls under this guy? Oh, nice. You can MG the anti-tank gun there. Granted, they're in smoke and cover, so we might not be able to do much. But maybe it does say we surprised them, so maybe we can suppress them. They're in smoke, they can't see, and now they're suppressed. Good.
Wenigstens wird's nie langweilig.
Very good. Well, there's no orders for you. So we'll undo that. So the heavy weapons platoon is done. Well, they're going to rally one of their MG units who was suppressed. Do we want to move troops into this building just to make sure there's no one here? I'm a little nervous about moving them down this road. Oh, but they can't see them there, so we can do that. Just to make sure we're not bypassing anyone.
Auf mein Zeichen!
Get them into some cover. Dead bodies. All right. Keep the boys moving. Just the platoon. I'm going to bring the lieutenant or whatever down to join him. All right. No, I don't want to do that. I want them both. Move between the zones the enemy can see. Oh. 13 suppression. Jesus. And a casualty. So something's in this house. Gonna move the captain forward here. Hopefully he can rally these boys. Oh, they can't, because they've already moved. Bolster he can. They're still not in good shape, but trying to use the cover of the fields to keep my boys safe. Okay.
Called it! Verstrebung!
All right. Well, we're maybe hurting them. They've got a leader there, so. So, if this anti-tank gun is suppressed, I can move through here without getting shot, right? Early smoke, target acquired. All right, well, they're suppressed at the very least. Push forward with the Stug. These guys MG the. I mean, it's heavy smoke. My goal is to obviously make them combat ineffective, so. Yeah, let's try and MG these guys. I guess I'll MG the non-suppressed troops. Well, we did do some suppression damage, so maybe their officer will get stuck trying to rally his boys. Next turn. We got a nice little traffic jam building up here, though. If there was any enemy air, this would be an appetizing target. All right, we'll move these recon cars forward now. Illegal target. Well, I know there's something here, so let's do a fire by recon. We'll get shot at. They're in a building, we're in a car. Who's got more cover? Can't see him from there. I feel like we're getting a little too close for comfort. Ah!
Let's feed them breakfast.
But I'm not hungry. No? Okay, enemy troops in that trench. Kind of like I expected. We did drop smoke on them, so hope that probably makes their fire less effective. And they are suppressed now, so good job, boys. So our vehicles are successfully suppressing these enemy troops. I still can't hit him from here? Huh. Alright, well, rather than expend my last point moving that unit, let's bring the other car up. So the Stugs are basically, I mean, they're serving their purpose. They're mobile artillery, effectively. Assault weapons, aiding the assault. The real concern right now is these AT guns. But we've suppressed the infantry too, so hopefully these troops in this wood line here in this field can maybe move without too much risk. I mean, there is the enemy machine gun that we saw here, but they can't shoot north. So, risk of exposed fire from who? The troops that are suppressed? I mean, I don't have a choice. I have to move across this mostly open ground with the occasional hedgerow for cover. We can try and move through this wood line up here to the north if there's nothing in there. Maybe come down on the enemy flank. We could try and move more deliberately, but this is a big map, so we can't easily just crawl or anything. Okay. There's got to be more enemy AT guns or vehicles coming out. There's some infantry moving, or I guess just a leader. So now they have 2 leaders to rally their units with. It looks like he's already successfully rallied this MG just by his mere presence. I don't have anything else to do with my captain. Goes to move the MG. Okay. What can he see from here? What can he shoot at next turn? This guy, and that's it? That actually would be more useful is to have him up here. Yeah, let's move him there. Hopefully these guys don't get shoot at him. Okay, I think that maybe these guys, these aren't mortars, right? They're MGs. All right, shoot at these guys. They're no longer suppressed. Maybe you can resuppress them. Nice! Knocked out the enemy officer. And, you know, inflicted a casualty, knocked out the enemy officer, and resuppressed those guys. That is all I can hope for as we try to move to close at the enemy here. I don't have anything else to do this turn, so I'll move forward to the next. And I guess we get to go right away. So these guys are all suppressed, except for whatever's in this building here. This one officer we've left behind is kind of our spotter for our guns. Okay. Maybe. I think the morale check is not too risky. They're all suppressed. The risk is there's someone else here we haven't seen yet. Can I really only move the one hex? What if I bolster? There we go. Move through the woods, hopefully completely in cover here. Block line of sight? What do you mean? Wouldn't we be right on the flank? Let's see what happens. Ah! Exposed moving through the open, an enemy unit attacked us. We got shot at twice. Took some suppression damage, but I don't think we actually took any casualties there. So maybe that answers my question about these guys. What about the attack from the flank here? Flanking morale bonus. Initiative chance high. I don't know that I like going hand to hand without having already suppressed the enemy. I think it's very risky, especially if supposedly the British are enraged. We took 2 casualties, I think. Yeah, we did. But we did manage to overrun them. Let's try and keep rolling that flank up. These are at least against suppressed enemy troops, and so we didn't take any, I'm assuming, we didn't take any casualties there, we just overran them. So good result there. We knocked out 2 enemy squads here on this defensive line near the chateau.
Überprüfen Sie Ihre Munition. Überprüfen Sie Ihre Beine. Es ist wieder soweit.
Okay. All right, so 2 enemy units knocked out on the flank up here. I did take some casualties, but to be expected, I suppose. Now what? That's it for that platoon in any event. They've used all their action points. All right, so they did manage to kind of resuppress the squad up here. Looks like they've got a heavy MG unit, or at the very least an MG unit. Shot at us twice. Not quite as devastating a suppression as the previous attack, but definitely still effective. My officer rally the same unit twice? No. Okay, so what is this? The Vickers MG. All right. So they've exposed their position.
Let's give him a scrap.
Halte Sie ruhig.
Lassen Sie jede Kugel sprechen.
This is risky. If they recover their suppression, then we may end up in some serious trouble. Looks like we inflicted some casualties, though. Got a little skull marker there. Partially suppressed. Yeah, we'll hold there. I don't want to get too close to the enemy, assuming their leaders might have piats or something. And I can't see anything from here. I'd like to get up into this house or something. Maybe I can see something from there. Gonna take some risk exposing myself to fire. This is my character, the captain, the company commander. Drop already on the guns. Just hope that maybe we inflict some losses. Doesn't look like we do. Move one of our stugs forward. Get them in closer with the boys. All right. All right. Stug moved up the road. Something new just spotted it. Not sure what. The other stuff is still clogged up in this recon car quagmire back here. Can I push these boys forward here to get up to assault these paras or these guns? It would be nice. I don't have the movement points to do it, though. Because that leader is suppressed with the rest of his platoon. That's the issue. Heavy smoke, cowering, unable to return fire. I'd like to be able to take that other machine gun out of action. Listen, I'm sorry about this chateau being used as a hospital, but you don't put your front line of defense also as a hospital if you don't expect something to happen. And there's an officer there, apparently. They're not fully suppressed. That's a little concerning. Does my officer have any movement points left? I think I used them all. Yeah, I did. I can't hit the... Oh, they missed. I was kind of hoping they would miss again. They just missed north. All right, I'm going to try and put smoke between me and the other MG position. Maybe my MGs can suppress these guys. The MG-42s are pretty damn good from range. Good job, boys. You did it.
Fire!
Keep their heads down. Don't let them recover. Maybe inflict some lucky casualties that help when it comes to assaulting their position. Oh, shoot. Did we always have these guys down here, or were these reinforcements? Looks like we've got some additional vehicles down here in the south. I didn't remember seeing them, but maybe they're just so well hidden in the woods. Maybe that's why I always had the extra turn where I was like, I don't have anything to do. Another fine day. Quite a bit of armor for as little infantry as we have. The enemy's got to be like, God damn it, more vehicles. I guess we are part of a panzer division, so it makes sense that we have some armor anyway. Even though we don't have any tanks on the map here. The closest thing we've got to it is some assault guns. It's weird that leaders can't move if their vehicle has a movement point left, because they don't have leader points left. That seems strange. With these recon cars up front, we've got a nice wall of MGs if the enemy does try to come at us. With that stug up, get it out of the way. All right. Acquired the target. British turn, and then we should get our troops refreshed. I'm hoping that this squad up here can sweep south, knock out the 2 remaining enemy infantry squads along the Chateau Ridge. Develop the attack. A moment amid the chaos. We've only just begun, Lieutenant Brown remarks over the radio, and we've lost so many that my head aches back. We've only lost a handful. Uh-oh. Yeah, I mean, I already knew that was my objective. Bolster your boys and attack down the line.
Kein verschwendetes Blut. Nicht nachlassen.
No resistance. Okay, so the Vickers MG is fallen. And now do we have enough momentum left to move south and take the Chateau next? I would say bolster to improve the chances that we succeed. Flanking morale, we come in behind pretty much. And we took it. Just like that. So the chateau is secured. Push forward with my other troops, use my captain's point. To get the additional troops up. Okay. We still have to take out that anti-tank gun, too. And they're still the only partially suppressed MG. So it's like we're nowhere near the end, but we've at least taken the first sort of high point here across a lot of open ground. All right. You need to rally these boys so they can get back in the fight. The other squad can move forward here to support these vehicles so they're not coming up without any infantry support. Uh-oh. What did the Luftwaffe lie about? Oh, there's another infantry squad back here? But for who? I don't know. I just used the captain point to unlock him, though. You probably need to move some of these MG-42s forward, too. Can I see the enemy MG house with my artillery? No. Where do I have to get to be able to see these guys? Much closer. Okay, I mean, it's a well-chosen position for them, no doubt about that. Okay. We ran into a mine, but there was no damage. Thank God. I don't know if I should be leading my vehicle section with the section leader. Okay. Hopefully there's not another mine on that same hex. God damn it. Of course, right as I said that, I didn't see any round coming. I'm assuming it was a mine. Second vehicle down. I mean, I really need infantry to assault these positions at this point. Okay, doing our best to keep the infantry can mark the mines to reduce the chance of detonation. Well, good to know that now.
Ich wünschte, ich wäre im Bett geblieben.
Yeah, I believe it.
Genug des Wartens.
Nice, we inflicted some casualties on the gun crew. So lost 2 recon cars so far.
Nach vorne.
Nope, not what I wanted to do. Good thing it wasn't in the firing arc.
Ignoriere das Chaos.
Alright, more suppression on the enemy MGs, or not MGs, but the assault guns, or anti-tank guns.
Geh jetzt!
Okay. I don't know how much facing matters for this in terms of casualties that you take. Like, your armor obviously is stronger up front. Okay, I'm gonna move my officer / commander to the chateau. We had many celebration here. Birthday parties, weddings, holiday celebrations. Perhaps I will return one day.
Auf die Beine.
Oh, I was hoping that pressing them would result in them being able to move again, but I have to use another action point to unlock them, so apparently not. We've got these Puma guys. We need to move still. Another fine day. Indeed. I have to figure out how to avoid the crossroads that's been mined. Man, these guys move pretty well. Compared to the other ones, at least. So even though we left them behind, they caught up right quick. Okay, I need to start moving some of these MGs up too. Maybe we'll do that next turn. Actually, we still have the, I guess we can move them now. I don't have to move my mortars? The problem is there isn't really another good position for these MGs to be in. Maybe one of these bombed out houses. I don't think they really have the elevation you need, though. And mortars do have like a 30 range limit or something, so it does make sense to move them forward eventually, but we're going to lower elevations, so that's a bit of a risk. Let's see if we get a event notification as we end the 4th turn and move into the 5th. What was that noise? I heard an explosion. I don't see anything, though.
Das wird laut und gnadenlos.
Alright, let's move behind the gun. Oh, God.
Trainiere deine Beine.
This is just an officer. We should be able to take out these guns from the rear. Maybe there's a British guy shooting a pistol at us or something, but... Do we take another casualty? No. Well, it must have been them. The British who took the casualty. Who's gonna see me there? It's just the British officer. I'll take that risk. Hand to hand with a single British officer. We should be able to take him. No resistance. Major surrenders. The British paratrooper Major surrenders. Good for us. All right, so we've got one platoon here in the chateau. My character is now also in the chateau. We took out the enemy anti-tank gun on the crossroads. Took out the enemy officer commanding that forward position. We've effectively turned them, I think, and maybe we can move through some of these wood lines to come in behind some of their objectives. But there's got to be more enemy troops there. I'm also surprised I can't see more from the chateau. In any event, though, we've been going for over an hour, guys, so I think we're going to wrap this scenario up here for today. Let me know if you want to see more of this. This is Burden of Command. This is the Three Nations DLC. Just came out today. This is one of the 4 scenarios for this. Playing as the Germans counterattacking against the British 3 days, sir, 4 days after D-Day. Yeah. That's all I got for you guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Leave your thoughts below. And until next time, this is the Historical Gamer saying thank you for watching, and I'm out.